Welcome to 24 Days of Comfort, casual tea time check-in every day until Christmas, talking books, mental health, hobbies, whatever else comes up. The holidays can be a stressful time, so I'm here to gently nudge you towards a little bit of relaxation. Every day I'm going to try a tea from my Puka tea calendar. Today is day 5, happy Sinterklaas, for my Dutch friends, and the flavor is turmeric active. This is an invigorating blend of finest turmeric, ginger, and galangal. Galangal. I don't know, curcuma. We're gonna try it. And while I brew my tea, we're gonna do a cozy check-in. So, if you want to, you can join me for this, but we're going to get cozy, see, are you comfortable? Could you relax even 1 to 5% more? Settling into your seat, relaxing back. Maybe something's pressing into your back, you know, just getting comfortable. Then, oxygen. Let's take a deep breath together if you want to. We're gonna do 1 deep exhale, 1 deep inhale, and then a deep exhale out through the mouth. In through the nose. Hold. And out through the mouth. Always feels good. It always helps. And then ZZ, zero tension. Can you relax your muscles? Unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, relax your spine, sink into your seat, unclench those butt cheeks. You know the drill. It's so normal to hold tension even when we're not noticing. Maybe you're even making fists or you've got your toes curled. Very common. Take a moment to relax. And then we've got you time. Is there anything that you need before we start? Do you want a blanket? Do you want a hot drink? Take the time, maybe match mine. That rhymed unintentionally, but it is Sinterklaas after all. So I have to rhyme. Or maybe you want to put your phone on Do Not Disturb, just anything you need. It's your time. And then when you're ready, let's get into it. Hi, I'm Fleur. Very nice that you're here. Thank you for your time. Today I want to talk to you about the books that I've read in November. I usually do these videos only on my ASMR channel, but I thought, you know, why not? I've got 24 videos to film. Surely I can do a book reviews one. I hope that you don't mind. So, November was an interesting reading month for me. We're just gonna dive right into it. In October, I only read 1 book, and that was The Hobbit, and I loved it so much that I read it and then watched all the movies twice. And then I also, in October, started reading The Fellowship of the Ring from The Lord of the Rings. And I finished it, and I annotated it. Dare I say I'm obsessed. I actually really love this. Lord of the Rings, if you don't know, I'm worried about you, but it's also okay. It's a high fantasy. Is it high fantasy? I'm asking as if you know, but if someone knows, is it high fantasy? I don't know. It's a fantasy series. It's a classic. It's iconic. It made such a huge impact on literature today, fantasy today. They were made into movies. It's a trilogy. It's basically 6 books, but divided into 3 books. So the pages go on from book 1 into book 2. So here it ends at like 300 something something, and then the next book starts at page 300 something something, which is interesting. A young hobbit gets a ring, and that ring is very special and dangerous and could potentially be world-threatening. And so he goes on a quest with a fellowship with other people, and they set out to destroy the ring, and then there's a lot of stuff that happens at the same time. This is a really bad explanation. I've made a couple of vlogs on this channel as well where I've talked about The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, so now it's all just becoming like blah 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 blah. Yeah. Is it really dark? Let me make it a little bit lighter. Is that better? Sorry, interruption. But I had a really good time reading this. It took me a little bit to get into. Same went with The Hobbit. I think that it's beautiful. The way that I annotated it is that the yellow tabs, I think, are plot things, or the yellow One of the colors is things about the plot that I want to remember, things that were important, key moments, and then the other color, I'll have to have a look, is beautiful quotes and phrases and sentences. I think the yellow is the quotes. I sometimes underlined things, sometimes didn't when I didn't have a pen on me. Oh, here's a pretty part. This is about trust. But it does not seem that I can trust anyone, said Frodo. Sam looked at him unhappily. It all depends on what you want, put in Merry. You can trust us to stick to you through thick and thin, to the bitter end, and you can trust us to keep any secret of yours closer than you keep it yourself. But you cannot trust us to let you face trouble alone and go off without a word. We are your friends, Frodo. Anyway, there it is. We know most of what Gandalf has told you. We know a good deal about the ring, and we are horribly afraid. But we are coming with you, or following you like hounds. I think that also summarizes what I wanted to say about the book, because what I loved the most about this, and what I loved about The Hobbit as well, but this is at a different level, is the camaraderie, is the friendship, is the bravery, found family aspect, and sticking with each other through thick and thin, even when they are terrified of what's going on in their world. And I thought that was so beautiful to read, and that kept me hooked. And all the elvish things, all the elf worlds, realms, the whole cultural layout, the political climate, if you will. It's, well, yeah, political. I don't even know if you want to call it that, but the power dynamics, so fascinating, but mostly the friendship. So yeah, this is like a 10 out of 10. I think I'm going to say 9 out of 10. Will I? No, it's 10 out of 10. What can I say? It's just really good. So I had a good time, if you couldn't tell. Then it was time for me to spend time with different books as well, because I felt like, you know, I have a TBR, I have things I want to read. I can't just read Lord of the Rings. I have free will, but there are other things that I also want to get to. So to switch it up, I went with Sangu Mandana's A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I read this in a vlog. I don't think I finished reading it in a vlog. But what happens is that there is a witch called Sarah Swan, and she resurrects her aunt. She's a witch, she has power, she does a spell, she's very powerful as well, she resurrects. That's forbidden. You can't do resurrection spells. So the Witches Guild exiles her. And so after the spell, she lost most of her magic and she's exiled from her guild. So she can't also access any books or any knowledge around getting her magic back. And it's all she wants. So you're following Sarah as she's coping with a huge identity crisis, grieving a lot, just feeling like a shell of herself, really. And also trying to get her spark back. All while managing this quirky little inn that does have magic in it. And then, of course, there's a hot man that comes along with an adorable little sister that you grow so fond of. And yeah, that's just all I'm going to say about it. I think that if you want to read it, you know, let yourself be surprised. It has so many words on the back. Why do people do that? I don't like it when they do that. But it was fun. It was quirky. I'm going to say 6.5 out of 10 or something. I had a good time. It was definitely a little bit forgettable, but it was cozy. It was autumnal. I don't like it as much as I liked The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Oh my god, the names of these books. Miss Mandana, what are you doing? It's so difficult to remember. 6.5, had a good time. Then we've got a reread. I did review this in a week vlog, in a week of reading. I finished this one, and I started other books. Anyway, this was a reread. This is Foster by Claire Keegan. It's a short story. I love Claire Keegan. I have all her other books right here. I have Antarctica, Small Things Like These, and So Late in the Day. Her newest release is Walk the Blue Fields, and it came out this year, I think, this past October, or last year, I don't know. I haven't read it yet, so that's one that's on my list, but she's such a phenomenal short story author. She hasn't written very long stories, which is kind of sad to me because I feel like it would be beautiful. She's Irish, I believe. This is about a little girl who comes from a family where there are a lot of children and her mother is pregnant, and for the summer, to relieve her mother, she goes to a foster family, and that there's a little bit of tension within that family and it's a bit difficult to place, but the little girl gets treated with so much kindness and love, and it's a very endearing, touching story with a little bit of a sad edge to it. I love it. I'm a woman, I love Melancholy, what can I say? And it's just really beautiful. It's short. If you want to read something that is short and still moving, I would highly recommend this. Generally, if you haven't read anything by Claire Keegan, I would recommend giving it a try if you're into literary fiction. And then after that, in that same week, I started Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. This is a book he wrote in 2005, and that I feel like aged pretty well and feels very relevant still. This book is narrated by Kathy. She's in her 30s and she is a carer, and she grew up at a kind of like a boarding school, if you will. It's called Hilsham School, and the kids are there for very odd reasons. It's a dystopian fiction, so things get weird. And throughout the story, you slowly learn what's going on, why the children are there, how they grew up, why they live the lives that they live. And it's fascinating. And also not very uplifting. I felt a little bit discouraged after reading this, to be quite honest. I had a lot of emotions. But I will say it was a very good read. It took me a while to get into it, and I was a little on and off at the beginning, but after a while I was really hooked. It just starts out with Kathy recounting memories from Hilsham and the interactions with her classmates, but the way that the story is set up, all that build up really makes the big reveal a lot more impactful and makes you really get an emotional response to everything that's going on. And I think it's really interesting psychologically as well, how the whole thing is handled. And I wish I could talk about the ending. I feel like just psychologically, the dialogue near the end is very interesting and is a really good conversation to have with people around you. I discussed the book with my dad. He didn't read the book, but I discussed the concept with him. It was very fascinating, so highly recommend. I think I'm gonna rate this a 7 or something. Or 7.5. Maybe a 7.5. I also really liked Clara and the Sun. Definitely, like, I understand why he won a Nobel Prize for his literature. Then, because I talked about it yesterday, in yesterday's video, I DNF'd this book. It's People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I'm very sad about it. And this could be a soft DNF. I might end up still finishing it in moments where I feel like I can. But this is a romance. The FMC takes care of her mother with Alzheimer's, and she has a very sweet dad, and the MMC lives in a van but comes to this town where she also lives to help his brother open a brewery. And so you kind of see the interaction between these families and between the main characters, of course, and developing a bond. But it's a little bit insta-lusty for me, and I don't like a friends with benefits situationship type of storyline. This is like friends with benefits situationship fanfic. Like, this is kind of what you want to happen in ways. And I just couldn't right now. Maybe at a different time when my life is different, but right now I can't. I don't have the headspace for this. So anyway, that's a DNF, unfortunately. Because Out on a Limb, her first release, I think it was beautiful and endearing and so sweet. And then Out of the Woods, I think the other one is like about a couple rekindling their love, and it's all about, communication and everything. It felt a lot more wholesome, and this just doesn't really feel wholesome to me at all. This is kind of just like, I don't know, a bit unpredictable, I guess. It was just not for me. And then that was the books that I read this month. My current read is The Two Towers, Lord of the Rings, Part 2, and I only just started, so I can't really talk about it. I don't know a lot. I did see the movie, but yeah. I'm very excited to be back with The Lord of the Rings. I need to go back. I need to be there again, and I'm just gonna enjoy my time. Do I have other stuff that I want to read this month? I recently got Book of Night and Thief of Night by Holly Black, and I'm really excited to read that as well, but I feel like fantasy and fantasy mixing isn't really my thing. I also really want to read Orlando by Jacqueline Hartman before the end of the year. Other than that, I don't feel a lot of time pressure. Like before the end of the year, I have to read this and this. I didn't set a reading goal this year, so I feel zero pressure. That's really nice because I did feel pressure last year. And yeah, I've just really been enjoying slowing down a little and taking my time with the books. I also just haven't been reading as much because I've been doing other things, which I'm also loving. So yeah, that's what I've been reading this month. What have you been reading? What's your favorite book of the month? My favorite has to be Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, of course. Time to review the tea. I'm gonna do another taste test now that it has been sitting for a while. Once again, pretty gentle. I feel like the teas aren't as strong as I thought that they would be. Where do I place this? Probably at a 7 as well. By the way, today I found out that there are quotes behind every tea on the calendar. So the quote of today is, "Embrace the crisp air and take a walk to clear your mind." All right, you heard it here first. Go take a walk to clear your mind and embrace the crisp air. All right, I'm gonna go finish this tea. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will gladly see you tomorrow. Here's a forehead kiss. Bye!